When did you start drinking?
First experience of drink. See, when I grew up, my mum and dad were young, so I grew up with on parties. So the first time I took a sip of alcohol was probably after one of the parties when everybody was asleep. I picked up ends of cans, but the first time I got drunk was in P7. I stole a half bottle of vodka off the younger people who was out street drinking and put it on a wee Vidazay bottle, and it was more or less straight, and drunk it and thought I nearly had to get pumped. Not enough for never caught me, my and dad, like, but that was the first experience with alcohol, P7.
You were caught?
Wasn't caught, my mum and dad was on a night out. So my muckers got me in the house and I just went in and slept it off. So that was my first experience with alcohol. My whole life, I've been around it. My mum and dad was a young man and dad. My mum had my brother when she was 15, had me when she was 19. And my dad was 20 when he had me. So they were still sort of in their youth and they still enjoyed their drink, and my whole family, they all drunk together. So it was just right around it all the time, like. And I mind when I was away, I used to look at my family members and be like, fuck, I can't wait to do that when I'm older. And I ended up doing it then, like, and it took me. But I, being on around that environment since a young age, it was about partial to be how I ended up becoming an addict, like. I just was like, even before the addiction to alcohol and drugs and stuff started, I grew up with a lot of violence and seeing a lot of violence. My dad would have fought them. He hit boys in front of me before, and I heard my family members, my granddad used to tell me about my mad uncles and all. I was just obsessed. And then from a young age, my dad used to let me watch proper violent films like Chopper Reed. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but it was this madman in Australia, and he was my idol. And I was at primary school, so growing up I had this, my inspirations was these big gangsters and murderers. And when I came into my teenage years then, like my dad, my brother, he was done MMA and kickboxing and all, and he was fighting a couple of fights in the street and all, and he was well known for it. But I mind coming on one night, my dad was drunk, and he turned around and he said to me, no way you're not out making a name for yourself. He was drunk when he said it, like he probably didn't even know what he was saying. But I mean, going out the week after and slapping somebody, and the power I felt off it was like that adrenaline and all. I was like, whoa. So I was running around fighting all the time, but I would say it was out of order what I was doing. No, I was hitting people for nothing at times, no, but I wouldn't have went overboard. And my brother, he was stabbed when he was 16, and I was 13. I was with him that night and went over to get a tracksuit on because he was fighting me a boy. And you let your man up every time. Your man went up the house and grabbed a knife. An older boy from Craigham, he was a man, like, and he came down when I was over in the house and tried to shake Ireland's hand and just started stabbing him. And the only thing I took from that was that Eamon let him up. So I mean, after that happened, every time I got in a fight, I just kicked, stomped, done really, really awful stuff. I really hurt people. Like, now if they were knocked out, I still would have hit them. And then in my teenage years, I was full of hit. I became a skinhead, and with big red boots, Dr. Mertens, and the bomber jackets. Had a big crowd of fellas with me, and the first time I was ever arrested was for a hate crime. Like, me and my muckers that 6 million Jews wasn't enough in the side of Millennium Forum with swastikas everywhere. Didn't even know what we were preaching, didn't even know what we were doing. It was just complete full of hate, like. But as I go on now, I thought that didn't affect me in any way. And coming on the recovery, it has massively affected me. Everything I've done, I thought internally in my mind I got away with. That I fuck. Still to this day, I still when I used to knock people out and hurt people, the noises they used to make and stuff that came up, like, and it was really, really awful. Just even looking at it, like the pain I inflicted on people. And then this is not even in the heavily and what would you say, involved with drink and drugs yet. I've had a couple of beer in, but then once I was 15. Am I alright? Do you keep talking just? Aye.
Take a drink whenever you want to.
When I was 15 then, or 14, I started taking meth. I came out, I got meth off a boy in Craigham one time, and I was a Monkey Madness, do you mind that was out? So that was my first sort of introduction to drugs. I was young, and with that, you couldn't sleep. It was a mad old drug. I used to just sit in my room staring at the ceiling. My dad had no clue what was going on. I was too young to even think I was taking drugs yet. And then I moved on to bangers and I started taking ecstasy. I sort of would say, I was 15 then. Sort of say with ecstasy, the madness nearly stopped. You know, it was more or less you were just full of love nearly. Like, and even the drinking sort of went less heavy. You were just drinking to get on the bangers, like. And once the bangers was in, you didn't even know when they have a drink. But then I started in 5 meets, and when I was 16, I started working then. I got introduced to cocaine, and that was a game changer. So it was £40 a bag when I used to get it, and a boy I used to get it off and explained to me about weights and about getting half ounces, quarters, and I was just like, right, if I bought 40 a bag every time, it was just costing me too much money. So I started getting weight and then sorting my muckers out with it, and so I didn't have to pay for it then end up. And once the cocaine came in, I fell in love with it. I mean, fell in love with what way it made me feel. It made me feel more confident in alcohol, and it just took me to different levels at the start. And then as the years go on with cocaine, it gets stronger and stronger, and once it got stronger, it was game over for me, like. But through my whole drinking career from the very beginning, I would say I could count 5 times what was any good memories, and the rest was complete nuts. Like I've done me and Eamon got into a fight one time in the living room, like, and I hate even talking about it, but as I say, I want to spread my message to as much people as I can. We're getting into a fight, and Eamon's a good fighter, and he slipped a punch, and my ma was trying to break it up, and I punched my ma in the face and gave her a black eye. And I mind that was the first time I ever had a suicidal thought. I went, fuck me, or fucking I went out there, and I couldn't live with myself. But it didn't stop me drinking, and I mind going, I was thinking, oh Jesus, I was the first to get the ball rolling with suicidal thoughts. I was like, look where this is leading me to. And
do you think the violence, what do they say about trauma? Do you think that affected you?
Oh, massively. Even the trauma, childhood trauma, like, just normal childhood trauma, like, and the trauma inflicted on people, it's affected me massively. And the people I've hurt friends, knocked out friends. I was just on a rampage. You know what I mean? The violence, it was actually, in a way, just to make me feel powerful. But I think in another way, it was another way they hide who it really was. They were a scared boy on there, like, you know. And then it was living up to a name too. Living up to my brother's name, living up to my dad's name, living up to my family's name. See, I would conflicting things years ago when I was away. My dad's Collins, my ma's Deane. I kept Deane. And I wanted to be a Collins when I was younger. And that was a big thing. The Collinses would have been known in Craigham for just being madmen and all, like. So I thought, if he's not calling me Collins, I'll show you who's a real fucking Collins. And then, like, there was stuff happened to my uncles. There were one uncles I've never been met before, called Kieran Collins and Provost of them and stuff. And I'm just going off stories, like, that I've heard. But I was in primary school, helping these ex-provost windows and doing their cars and doing all this crap when I was young age, fighting this battle that I wasn't even born when it happened. So I was just listening to things. So now when I have my own mind, so I'd be very, very cautious of what I say in front of them, especially alcoholic. I know it's very good knowing that I broke that cycle, because I went to a party a couple of weeks ago, up in my cousin's house. I wasn't going to go, but I went up. And just once everybody started getting a bit drunk, I just got off sides. I just don't want my Wednesday experience it at all anymore. Because the more you're around stuff like that, the more it's normalised, and the more you feel it's alright to do it anyway. And that's really the violence had traumatised. I had trauma through inflicting it, and I had childhood trauma too. Yeah.
So you were saying about your worst times and alcohol. What age were you?
Worst times? Probably when I started. I didn't worst times at all the times. But it's the places that led me. It wasn't like I had muckers. They weren't doing what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? We're a big crowd of us. We're all really friendly still. But I always seemed to be the maddest one. You know, it was always me doing the fucking mental stuff. Always me arrested. Always me would have just done stuff out of a complete blue. Now, I had a thing for fighting. Not fighting, but being in the midst of chaos all the time. And even when I was a boring night, I would have created chaos. Like. But that led me to the madness and fighting and all spread out everywhere, and your name was going everywhere. And like I was 12 or 13, I fought a boy from Hazelwick. It was a big video fight. I went round all the skulls and Bluetooth at the time, Bluetooth and fights. But this was all going about, and then I used to run round the bog, and I was fighting, hitting people on the bog all the time because that's where I drunk. And then somebody must have contacted the RA. Standing on the flyover one night, and there were just me and my muckers and all these masked men. I think it was around the time, remember Rad and all was out?
What was that, Republican Action Against Drugs?
Drugs, but it wasn't over drugs. It was just over me being a fucking nut. So they all came up, masked up, and a crowd of us there. And they started shouting, "Where the fuck's Oisin Deane? Where's this? Where's that?" I thought it was a joke, because I've imagined the RA wearing camouflage clothes, proper balaclavas and fucking guns and all. No, it was just these big grown men, just be scarves, caps, hoods up, and just ran up and just started fucking smashing everybody. I didn't realise it was real until they whacked one of my muckers in the back of the back. And then it just dawned on me, and I went, fuck. And I ran off, and they broke one of my muckers' hands. But it was all down to me, like, you know. In a way, it was, if I had got that night, there were a lot of people in this town that I went, fucking happy days. You know, he deserves that. And I probably, maybe I did. But they never got me. And what do you call it? But it was really, really hard.
Why were they looking for you?
Fighting all the time. I don't know if at the time too, I had somebody involved them, and I was hitting everybody, like, everybody. I did. I mean, it was the Brandywell War on night. I had a boy that was connected to them, and had to go to a meeting for that. And it was the first boy I ever said was never allowed under Brandywell. They told some of my friends don't go to Brandywell. But that was that's just another part of the mad stage of life. Do you know what I mean? But I was young, like. It wasn't really. I wasn't a big boy involved with drug dealing or nothing. Like, the most I ever would have done was my muckers and stuff. Just got stuff and give it to them. But it was all young age stuff. At the end there, I was just taking stuff and snuffing it myself, like. But it was just a mad early episode of my life. But see, most of the boys I know was all in that crap years ago. They're all out of it now, like. Do you know what I mean? But what do you call it? Other than that, hey,
what about the I might have missed that, but the skinheads?
Why
skinheads in particular? What clothes did you wear?
Dr. Martens.
The red ones?
Big boots up there, bomber jackets, the head was skinned done. All this was dressed the same. And we just ran around in groups, terrorising the town here. And then I sprayed on the side of the forum before, well, a couple of us did. 6 million Jews wasn't enough. Didn't even know what we were chatting about. and swastikas everywhere, and I got arrested for it, and was done for hate crime. It's just full of hate. It's just full of hate. I hate it myself, I hate it the world. I hate it, just hate it where I was at, and I just wanted to inflict pain on everybody else because I was hurting that much myself.
Was that in the newspapers? Was it in the Daily Journal?
I don't know. I don't know if it ever got on. I think they couldn't really do nothing that much about it because we were that young. You know what I mean? If I say if it was an adult to do it now, they would fucking put them everywhere. I'd say if you done it now, it would be worse. Like. But
you weren't educated in anything like that. It was just you could be writing anything.
I was watching mad films. I used to watch a film called Rumper Stumper.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Watched that. I was watching This Is England. Watching all these mad skinhead films and just wanting to be the people that was on that. Not really having a fucking clue what I was doing. Wasn't responsible my body. But it was just at that time I was like acting a film out, you know what I mean? But I heard a lot of people acting them films out, like it wasn't good, like. But as I say, I paid the price of it all. It nearly took my own life a few times, and it's all over the demons in my head that I created, like. Came to very, very close, like, a few things they ended it all, like. But the thing I like to say to people, you get away with nothing in life. Everything you ever do comes back to hate you, like. And mentally it got me. It just got me. It just it got me. But I love the chaotic life.
Did you hurt anybody physically?
A lot of people. I was done a few times in court there. ABHs, GBH for intent. Was on tag for 9 months. Was meant to go to jail. All the things that kept me out of jail was the last one, the GBH for intent, kept me out of jail. I was on tag and I got a job at 16, and the judge said, well, what's the point in sending someone that's it's like a good member of society working at that age and stuff. That saved me. And at the time, my partner at the time, their dad got me a good letter. Like, and to be honest, that was a scary stage. I was trying to be better, but once I got away with it. It was just back then. Just too much. My head was worked my whole life, like. Really it was. Only this time round, I get sober, it's been where I can clearly see right my wrongs and make amends for what I've done, like.
Do you think it's something I always think about, do you think you just deserve recovery?
When I first came under the rooms, I didn't. Now I kept saying to me in meetings, I don't think I deserve to get this. I don't think I deserve for the things I've done. But when I got close to God, and then Jesus Christ, Jesus came for boys like me. He came for the sinners. He came for the outcasts of society. Like, he didn't come, when he came here, he didn't sit with the righteous and sit with all the people who was eating all the rails. He sat with the people who was leprosy. He sat with the tax collectors. He sat with all them people. So that's why I'm an honor light, and that's why now I speak out, because it sort of gave me a purpose for where I was at in life, to help other people that's in the same position as me, because there are a lot of boys out there like me. They show them that they are light at the end of the tunnel, and you can change. You can, if you put the work in and you want to change enough. But it's hard. It's hard to look at yourself. It's hard to look at your past. It's hard to look at the things you've done. But you have to look at them to move forward. Like.
If you had the head you had now, back then, what would you say to yourself?
I'll give him a hug, hey. I'll give him a big, massive hug. And I'll tell him that you're going to have two beautiful wings. You're going to have a beautiful girlfriend. But in Norway, I would fucking... I'm not thinking, tell him to wise up. But them times do it, I get bad with people, like, and just, I don't know what it was, eh. It's just completely demented. So when I first get on the recovery this time, I tried to do it myself again. And 3 months in, I was 3 months doing it without meetings. And the next door neighbour, I've been arguing with him flat out over this pit bull. I mean, the pit bull's not alive, like, it's one of them ones that's bred for fighting. Kept getting them in my backyard, and so they were putting these stupid fences up, and blah blah blah, and just kept getting them. So I just kept getting it out, and arguing with them. And then Halloween night, we were out watching the fireworks out the front. Me and my woman, and the two Windsor and the living room watched it. And the puppy got out over the backyard and just ran straight under my front door, running around my whole living room. My wee gear's only a couple of months just lying there. And the dog was running, jumping around, and I just flipped and just seen red. And my mind was ready, because I wasn't going to meetings, I was just all twisted, like, and I went to the people's doors, was looking for a fellas, just straight to the back of the Oisin, looking to fight. And the 3 months day, I had 3 months, I woke up because they put a Facebook status about me, with my photo, sharing it all around Facebook, was going the whole time.
The dog came into your house?
Aye.
With the Waynes there?
With the Waynes in my house, and the puppy, like, and I coached them a few times, like, and it just, they weren't listening at all. And the boy that owns the dogs in jail, and so, what do you call it? I hit the 3 month mark, and this status was going around, and people was writing what I've done to them and all this underneath. It didn't need to go up, like, and that morning I went, you know what, I'm going to write this today, and I was going to drink again. I was going to do their houses, and I'm going to do this. I was going to retaliate and fucking cause mayhem. But I rang my dad, I was crying on my phone, and my dad was all, go to a meeting. And then that's when this spark happened with AA. I went down and I told Lemons the truth what I was going to do that day, and I was willing to go to jail, and I was willing to do this. And the boy said, come back. He said, we understand. We keep coming back. Went back down to the meeting, no judgment, no nothing. And then I just listened to every last thing that was going on in AA. Got myself a sponsor. Just followed everything that needed to be done in AA, I done it. Now I'm in step 4, righting my wrongs, writing down what I've done wrong to people, like. And it's hard, it really is hard, but I'm getting there, like, I really am. I can feel the transformation in this step, the minute, like. There are days I bust out crying, there are days that I look at what happened to me, and just a lot of stuff, but
that makes you admit to yourself what you've done and express it to another human being.
So step 5 is when I talk about it then to another human being, which I'm terrified to do, but it has to be done, you know what I mean? As I say, like, there's stuff that's popping up when I'm out of walk now, and I have to write it down just to get it on the page. I don't want any stone unturned this time. I don't want any shortcuts. I want to completely do this properly. And in the months to doing it, share my journey. That's why I'm sitting here today. Share where I was, and that it's not for everybody, but it worked for me, especially with the looking at yourself part. I always avoid looking at myself. Always try to justify myself, too, when I was drinking and all. Justify stuff all the time. They done that, they done this, they done that, and blame game all the time. But now, no. I done it. I was responsible for everything I done, even with the drinking drugs I did. I made the decision to do everything. So I have to have my hands up. I can't blame other people, and I'm not using God either as an escape. God's just helped me through the whole thing.
What were you angry? I was angry too, but you were angry through the whole period of taking drinking drugs?
The anger, I don't know where it stems from. I'm in the midst of thinking it now, but just the environment growing up, just, I don't know, listening to stories, listening to this, I thought I had to be mad to be anything, recognising your family at times, you know. I wanted to be the mad uncle, I wanted to be the mad dad, I wanted to be the mad person.
Because you looked up to them in their life?
I looked up to them, I'd say. And then I had idols, I'd say, when I watched them films and all. Like, them films had a massive impact on me, like. I hadn't turned them on this time in recovery, but even when I was drinking, I just religiously watched them films over and over again. Just, what would you say, like an alter ego sort of thing. And I was just mad. I was really, really love violence. Even to this day, like, I watch violent sports still, like MMA, and if me and you were sitting here and there were a fight going on over there, I'm stuck to that fight, you know what I mean? But at the minute, like, I would train. Me and my brother went to boxing since a young age too. Like, I think it was about 7 or 8 when I went in the boxing gym. So I could always handle myself. But when it came to fighting in the street, and I've done kickboxing and all, it wasn't doing all this. It was how can I damage this person as quick as possible that they can't get up. Or the dirtiest stuff, the dirtiest things I had done. Kicking in the fists, eye gouging, biting, just anything they want. And as I say, my brother was stabbed, so I had this thing in my head that I can't, anybody I fought was going to stab me after I hit them. So I had this thing of making sure they stayed down after I hit them. Like. But it's awful, like, really, really is awful.
What I always ask people, Nosy, I used to drink white cider, and that drove me mad. What was it you drunk?
When I drunk anything, you know, in bars, shots and all that crack, but I would have stuck to beer to start. No any type of alcohol, it sends me mad. Just I'm one of them boys that shouldn't drink. I've tried wines, I've tried loads of different stuff, loads like natural, not natural beers, but like beers with less ingredients in it. I tried vodka before because I heard that was, even though there's like pure vodka, like Grey Goose and all before, I heard that was good. Nothing worked, nothing. Just that they talk about it, I don't know if they talk about it in the thing, but they say it's an illness, like. It's an AA, they talk about it, it's like a fever. It's like just a thing that I have. And then even if I took one sip, the obsession starts. I don't think about the drink in front of me, I think about the next 10. Do you know what I mean? And then if I go out in the night out, I have to come back to carry out. If I go out in the night out, and I just can't enjoy the drink. It's just consume as much as I can, boom, 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 boom. It's just mad. It really is mad. And it's been like that since I started. It really is. I hadn't had a normal drinking career at all. Like. I know I've seen people progressively get worse. I was just bad from the start. Like. It was just, I don't know what the love was in. I think it gave me more confidence. You know, they fight, it gave me more confidence. They talk to girls, give me more confidence. They be more brash and be them alter egos I wanted to be. But it's just now, I've just, my awareness to it all, it's just opened this past couple of months. Like. It's just been a real learning journey. Like.
Did you always have money?
Money.
Working.
Yeah, I was working since I'm 16. When I was younger. I don't really know how I got money. I used to do stuff in the house for money. I used to do hoovering and hoover my dad's car and do stuff like that. But when I was 16 now, well, when you're 16 you're lifting, you get your first 10 grand tax free. I was lifting about £400 a week, handing £30 on the house, all mine. Like. So my mum and dad, when I was all I do drink when I was 15. Like. I mean, I kept getting drunk. I had this system in my head. If I kept getting caught drinking, they're going to have to give in. And a way it did work. I was grounded for full summers and all. My mum and dad had to try and put some discipline on me. Like. But it was just worked. Hey?
I was too. You were kind of wild.
Wild, mental, absolutely mental. I went against everything. Everything, even in school. In secondary school, I dobbed. I used to I didn't want to do that. And even still this day, I struggle with authority. Like, do you know what I mean? I struggle with people telling me what to do, unless it's in recovery terms. But like cops and all, I fucking hated them my whole life. And I was just mad. Just mad to be sitting now looking at how mad I actually was like. But then in recovery and I went on orphans too at the start. I went on orphans and got a counsellor. The first thing I noticed on orphans was that the counsellor had a tattoo in his hand. And that was me, I can relate to this boy. And then he was an addict. So I could proper open up to him. I never had that before when I was growing up. So I think, see your traumas, in my way, traumas can be your qualifications. And that's what I get from sponsors and the orphans, people helped me on there. It was all recovering addicts. They loved it, they walked it. Even today, I'm really glad it was you that asked me to come down and do this interview because you've walked it, you loved it, and it makes me feel no, you know the crack, instead of going to somebody, it's just like, oh, no, they don't really know, they never loved it, do you know what I mean? And
can you relate to if I says I'm sober 11 years, but I'm still not over it?
Yes,
I haven't like, I still consider myself, I know I'll always be an alcoholic, but I'm not, I haven't healed completely.
I thought in the past that I did, and I have to remind myself every day that I am. But no, I don't think you ever do. I don't think you ever fully. In my sense, I've went and done them medicines and all before, and smoked the EMT 6 times and all. And everybody said this is what's going to change. But the best thing the way I would look at it is, if I don't have meetings, meetings is just keeps me in place. But no, I don't feel like I'll ever be safe to say that fuck, that's me done now. That's it all done. I don't think I'll ever get to that point. I don't think you boys in AA like are 45 years sober and all, we're still going to meetings, you know what I mean? And and the things I used to do in the past is to slag people to AA, like, used to be all fucking mad bastards and it's a cult and it's a sad dollar, but one of the people that was throwing the stones saying that, they're the fucking maddest people I've ever met in my life. And the things I'm on about is like, these people doing these retreats and all, they can't even form under any type of reality or society at the moment. Like, they just, if you're in a different frequency or thing, I can't be near you, I can't be doing this. And I was thinking like that at one point, oh, they're lower vibration than us and all. Fucking nuts, like, you know what I mean? But the people like that there were better off moving into a jungle and living by a tribe, you know what I mean? Because they can't, the thing that I understand with recovery and doing the steps and stuff is I can deal with reality on reality's terms, like, and that's the best thing I can sort of say.
To me, it's life or death.
Aye.
If I take another drink, it could be death.
Yep. That's the same as me. I have a thing on my head now. I have an hour relapse there, but they have an hour recovery. No, I don't think so. And we were chatting about it on the way down the car. It was my head at the end of mental health. Like, there are people in meetings and stuff, their organs has failed, their organs nearly failed and stuff, and thank God that never got that point to me, but it was my head. The last thing, every time I open the first beer, just thinking about suicide stuff straight away. Trying to put up music louder and all, start thinking about it. Just more a jump, just thought about it. And I often think, if I get like that last time I was telling about the belt and all, if I got really, really drunk, and I could probably do something, I'm not even in the right frame of mind to even make a decision. They do that, you know what I mean? I could just do it. And I think a lot of people in this town's done that. They've just been drunker out of their heads and they just, well, I'm going to kill myself, and deep down inside they're so determined, don't want to do it. Like. So this whole journey is life or death to me, and that's why people I know it's relapsed like now just recently, and just looking at them and you can nearly see that they don't have an hour recovery in them, do you know what I mean?
It really is, because the stuff I get up to when I was drunk, I get knocked down with cars, I get my head stomped on. I can't guarantee that. I mean, I was lucky not to get through that. I can't guarantee that if I go back on the drink, I'm not going to end up getting stomped in the head and not coming around, or getting knocked down and not coming around this time. No,
it's awful. It was all mine was self-inflicted too. Like, no, but like, just for a drink, like, even I always say, I'm grateful to be an addict too, but because see if I was running around living that mundane. Loving for a weekend, loving doing this and loving doing that. I don't see any goodness in life in it. You can make memories and all, but most people I know drink, they still have their hangovers, and I think drink takes the goodness out of stuff. Like, I went away now the past couple of times in hotels and all my wines and all, and no drink involved, and just pure present one. And they see it and they feel it, and you're just taking them to bed and you're talking to them, and that's what it's all about to me. Like, not just sitting drinking for life. People just love to drink and they can't enjoy a sunny weather without an alcohol in their hand, and it's just mad.
So is that what you enjoy now? Like,
just enjoy being sober at the moment. Don't get me wrong, I have my problems, but I just enjoy about walks. I got a new job there yesterday, I had to leave. I was in Foy Meats for 12 years. I was out there chumming and doing bits of boning and just, what would you say, just can't grow as a person out there. Because they're just not constantly bringing up about drink and mad times they used to have and cocaine, and it's just not good, like. And I got another job out in Kempsey yesterday, and the boy just, and the first time I ever went to an interview, I never lied to make myself look better. I didn't tell him that I was in recovery and all, I just told him I was off a drink, and I'm looking for a new job, and fucked off in the place I'm in, and he just went, look, if you work in a place for 12 years and you're in a really, really tough environment working, I said, I reckon you'd be a good asset out here, so I got that. It's an another plus. And recovery, honestly, it's just, I have to, it's my life now, you know what I mean? I have to just eat, sleep and breathe it, like, because I cannot go back there in times. Not to say with this mind now, well, I had a good mind before and relapsed, and I ended up going and fucking still ended up fighting and all. I know that there's a button on me that I could switch now and I could just burn everything down in a second. I know that that's there, and it's being aware and keeping that there bay all the time. And that's why I go to meetings, and that's why I have to do the steps, and that's why I have to be in contact with my sponsor. And that's probably why I go to chapel so much too. Because I just have to lean on that there as much as I can so I can stay away from that dark side of life again, do you know what I mean?
I genuinely think there's a monster in me sleeping. I do think that. And I was never violent or anything, but it's just a leave a wake of absolute destruction behind me. It's currently sleeping. But I have to tiptoe around it, like, always be on the lookout for it. But they keep it sleeping.
Big time, that's exactly what I ever feel. It's the best way I heard it described, the monster. And the monster all it wants to do is just have you. And just have you sitting drinking, and I always think them demons are found in your head. I honestly think the end goal is death. I think they're happy when you go in there. And you can see it in the town now. There's a fucking fella dying once a week. Just killing themselves. Mental health up the left. A lot of people messaging me at the minute to completely, they fuck their families up, and it's just all, the thing I would like to highlight. See, when there are people out there like that, and addicts and people from Derry, try and look at them in a different light. Try and look at what they've lost. Try and look at what has happened to them. Try and look at, what would you say? Try and look at it in a different light. They don't want to be going out being that bad person. Do you know what I mean? And as I didn't touch on, there's stuff that's really, really personal happening to me when I was away. I don't ever think I'd ever talk about it. Do you know what I mean? And I could say that, you know what I mean, that's furthest I would go on it. But that's something for a fucking, I haven't even spoken to a counsellor before, like, but it's a thing I have to deal with for my step forward. But there's just certain stuff that happen in people's lives that make them, and it's not an excuse, but it makes them bad people, you know what I mean? And it's all down to pain and hurt. It really is. Like, I didn't feel comfortable in my skin all them years I was doing that. And finally starting to feel comfortable in my own skin. See, the emotional pain is the worst pain. Like, I clattered head to toe and tattoos. I would rather physical pain over anything. I'd rather something going to a sparring thing and getting battered with a good fighter and getting my fist busted on than anything to do with emotional pain. I can't handle it. And I'm doing it now with step forward, but no one actually feel anything emotional. Just block it out. And then when you're coming around then after, we're talking about hangovers. Fucking worst in the world, like. And then that's where them thoughts come in there. It's mad.
Bastard in it.
Oh, what?
So just now, best case scenario, what hopes for the future?
Staying sober. And to be honest with you, I don't have these big, in the past I had these big dreams and aspirations. I just want to be humble and live a good, quiet life here, because I've been in the spotlight for years. And just keep
from your own behaviour, people looking at you and talking about you think that anyway? Maybe it's true?
All the time, I just want a good. I know doing this here, you'll be in a wee bit of a spotlight thing, but I feel like this is my purpose now, is to talk about what's going on and talking about hearing my story. But my thing in life is making sure the Oisin's and the woman's happy, and just living a normal, happy, humble life. And that's it. And don't let the ego get in thing again. Just be quiet, and that's it.
Straight line.
Straight line and straight and narrow, and just try and do my best with fellows and AA, and just try and do my best with anybody that's struggling. And my best is not me taking you away and doing this. My best is just trying to guide you in the right directions that I went down that worked for me, but they necessarily don't have to work for everybody. But you will find your way. Like, everybody has their own way, but one way I will say is to stay away from the new age stuff. That's one thing I will say. Like, is watch their medicines. There's a lot of stuff going on in them people don't really ever talk about. Like, that's one thing I will say.
Right.